Bomb Squad event are available through Ticketmaster at BarclaysCenter.com and American Express box office at Barclays Center. And we're going to get started right away. Thanks for being patient with us. And I'm going to introduce Stephen Espinoza at this time, President of Sports and Event Programming for Showtime Networks, to make introductory comments. Stephen?
Thanks very much, Kelly. We are thrilled to be presenting Wilder versus Breazeale on Showtime a week from Saturday. Before we get there, we are committed to this fight as if it were a pay-per-view, because we believe that that's where Deontay is in his career, and this is the level of promotion that a fight of this caliber deserves. So we will be premiering All Access Wilder versus Breazeale tomorrow, Friday, May 10th at 10 p.m. Following that will be a three-fight ShowBox telecast featuring Ruben Villa in the main event. And those of you who know me know that I'm also a hip-hop music fan, so I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Wu-Tang documentary of Mics and Men that's premiering tomorrow. So it's a big lineup tomorrow night on Showtime. 9 p.m. is the Wu-Tang documentary, followed by All Access Wilder Breazeale at 10 p.m., and then ShowBox at 10:30. Next week, All Access will be active all week long on a daily basis, debuting new short-form episodes every day during fight week. Then we get to the fight itself. Look, I'm not going to give you too much about this. When you have two 6'7" heavyweights with a combined 90% knockout ratio, you really don't have to sell too much on this one. Since 2015, Showtime has featured 14 heavyweight world title fights, or rather this will be the 14th. We are happy to see the resurgence of the heavyweight division. We're proud for our role in it. No one else, no other network has been as committed to the heavyweight division, and no other network has done more to bring about this resurgence. So we are thrilled to be seeing the heavyweights back on this massive stage once again. As I mentioned, combined record of these two fighters, 60 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 57 KOs. That is over 90% knockout rate. Deontay on the world stage before, taking on Anthony Joshua in the UK. And it's no secret that there's a personal rivalry between these two guys, so there is no shortage of motivation. All in all, we're looking forward to this three-fight card. Again, All Access will kick it off tomorrow night, 10 p.m., followed by ShowBox, and we will see all of you a week from Saturday in Brooklyn. Kelly?
Thanks, Stephen. And yes, now we are going to turn to Trouble himself, Dominic "Trouble" Breazeale. He's 20-1, as Stephen mentioned, with 18 knockouts. He's a WBC mandatory challenger. He's a 2012 U.S. Olympian from Glendale, California. And for this fight, it's his first fight training with Virgil Hunter, the famed Virgil Hunter, in the Bay Area. He previously challenged Anthony Joshua for the heavyweight title in 2016 and has won his last 3 fights by knockout. So, without further ado, we'd love to hear from you, Dominic, and if you'd like to make opening comments before we open it up to the press, and just let us know how training's going and your thoughts on the fight a week from Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Kelly. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing this afternoon? Camp is doing great up here in the Bay Area. Virgil Hunter's done a great job of, performing and putting things in, implementing some of my game plan going into this fight May 18th. Definitely excited to be fighting on the world stage again for the WBC title. May 18th is going to be an explosive night. You got 2 knockout artists, 2 big 6'7", 250-pound guys. I'm super excited to be involved with the event. I'm super excited to get a big KO win May 18th. Like I said, the body feels great. Camp has gone up and beyond what I expected it to be. I'm super ready. I can't wait to get on this plane, get to New York, and get this started.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for that, Operator. Let's go ahead and open it up to the media for questions for Dominic.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. And I'm waiting for callers to join the queue at this present time. Our first question is going to come from Robert Morales from the Los Angeles Daily News. Please go ahead.
Hey, Dominic, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, Robert. How about yourself?
I'm okay, brother. Hey, I just have a couple of quick ones for you. Deontay Wilder has turned out to be a pretty good heavyweight champion. What makes you think you can beat him?
Your opinion on him being a pretty good heavyweight champ, that's your opinion alone. I don't think anybody else agrees with you on that one. But I don't see any fundamental skills. I don't see any success in his part. He's been champ for about 4 years. He hasn't grown. He hasn't changed. Yeah, he's got a big right hand, but don't we all in the heavyweight division? We all have knockout power. So I think I'm walking into a fight where I'm the more skilled, more athletic, and bigger, stronger guy.
All right, well, fair enough. One more thing, Dom, training with Virgil Hunter now. What has he brought to the table for you?
A little bit of everything, man. I don't see how I've come this far in my career. 10 years of boxing now, and haven't learned some of the fundamental basics that he restructured me and got me back to. Yeah, they've always been there because I've had some great amateur training and some great young pro experience. But he was able to bring a lot more out in my fundamentals as far as the way I use my jab and how I use it, and other things that we plan on using in our game plan May 18th.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Good luck.
Thanks, Robert.
Our next question is going to come from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Hey, Dominic.
Hey, Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I heard you say that you were looking forward to having a big knockout in this fight. My question for you is, I mean, you have a lot of knockouts, as Steven Espinoza mentioned in your record, but how badly would you like a knockout in this specific fight, given all the animosity that's been going on between yourself and Wilder that stems back from your issues a couple years ago in Birmingham?
Going in every fight is probably the biggest fight of your life, and I'm always looking for a huge knockout, something to impress the fans and impress the boxing community. At the same time, I'm never looking for it. I'm never trying to search and trying too hard to get the knockout. I always let it come. But this one, it's going to be a lot better success. It's going to be a lot better sleep in May 18th, the night after I win the title, if I get a knockout. No, don't get me wrong, a win's a win, but at the same time, I want to impress the world. I want to impress the boxing community, and a big knockout. When I say big knockout, one where my right hand and my left hand make contact and he goes out, doesn't get back up.
So I understand that would be big, obviously, just in the sense of how big the fight would be as far as winning the title and all. But just from a personal satisfaction standpoint, again, because of, I've as long as I've watched you fight your whole career, I've not known Dominic Breazeale to really have any particular animosity with his opponents. It's a job, it's what you do. Obviously, it's a little different with Wilder. So what would be the personal satisfaction of that, besides just the great accomplishment to win the heavyweight belt?
Oh, definitely the personal things on the outside of the ring, the revenge, the fact that you approached myself and my wife and kids in a situation that was not boxing related. The gratification and the fact that I get my personal revenge knocking out Deontay Wilder is a lot bigger than just an actual win or a KO or any other given night.
So in your one loss, which was the fight for the title for the other title against Joshua back in 2016, I know you've won 3 fights by knockout in a row against some solid opposition. But in the fight against AJ, you did get knocked down 2 times and stopped in the 7th round. I think a lot of people, punch for punch, would regard Deontay as a bigger puncher for one shot than Joshua. So I guess the question is, how do you think that you can stand up to his right hand if Joshua was able to get you?
I think, I've grown a lot in the last 2 years as a fighter. The Joshua fight was an eye-opener. It was a good experience. I learned then that I was standing there a lot more and taking some damage that I didn't need to take as the big guy that I am. Like I said earlier, Wilder's got a big right hand, but so do I, and I've got a big left hook. This is the heavyweight division. If you don't got knockout power, you got no reason to be in this division. Wilder's going to throw some leather. He's going to make some contact gap. By all means, boxing, it's all about hitting and not getting hit. I don't plan on getting hit a lot May 18th, and if I do, I've been there and I've done that before. But at the same time, I plan on putting on all the punishment, and if the right hand comes, so be it. I got to deal with it. It's part of boxing.
All right, I just have one more question for you. I know this is your opportunity to once again fight for the title. If you talk to boxing fans out there, they look at the heavyweight division sort of deep at the moment compared to what it's been, but they pretty much look at Joshua and Wilder with the hardware, and also Tyson Fury with the draw against Wilder, plus being the lineal champion, and they're sort of like the 3 at the top. and a lot of good guys, right behind them, yourself included. But they want to see those three guys fight. Obviously, you have the opportunity to sort of upset that possibilities. But what do you say to the boxing public that is like nothing against Dominic Breazeale, nothing against Andy Ruiz, who's going to fight Joshua in a couple of weeks, or against Tom Schwartz, who's fighting Fury. But we want to see these guys fight each other. What is your statement on that as far as the way that people look at the heavyweight division right now?
I don't disagree with the boxing fans, only because I'm a boxing fan myself. Of course, you always want to see the title holders or the best of the best fight each other. But right now, I think those five names that you mentioned, myself, Andy Ruiz, Tyson Fury, Wilder, and Joshua, we are the top of the division, and the fans are getting what they want to see. They're getting explosive heavyweight fights. When I fight Wilder May 18th, it's not going to be a snowfest. It's not going to be boring. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be, a big punch after big punch, and the same with Joshua and Andy Ruiz. I'm excited to be part of the division. I'm excited to be where I am now standing. I'm also super excited to be the spoiler, man. Wilder had one hell of a deal on the table with whatever he was working with Joshua, and I think he should have taken, because come May 18th, man, I'm going to ruin everything. And not that I'm going to put my name in that hat with Joshua, but I definitely want my revenge against Joshua as well. So we're going to mix some things up here in the near future. My way to do that is to get my WBC title, and that's what I plan on doing.
All right, very good. Dominic, thank you very much for that, and I appreciate it, and I wish you good luck on the fight.
Thanks, Dan. Have a good one.
Thanks.
Our next question is going to come from Carlos Toro from Fightful News. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Hi, Dominic. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing pretty well. Can't complain. My first question is, after the fight against Eric Molina back in 2017, you were kind of inactive for a year, and you just returned to the ring against Carlos Negron late last year. You feel that fight against Carlos might have shipped some ring rust and maybe helped you prepare for the fight against Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, I think definitely. Anytime you have a little bit of layoff, a little bit of ring rust, and you don't, of course, feel until fight night itself. But I'm glad I was able to get in there December 22nd, do what I did against Carlos Negron. I'm happy to be getting back in the ring as soon as I am now for the WBC title shot. There wasn't a long layoff between me getting out of the ring December 22nd, taking a couple days off for Christmas and New Year's, and getting right back into the gym in January. So I think, like I said earlier, I've had a great camp. I've had a lot less layoff than usual in the past, and all cylinders fired.
During that time between the Molina fight and the Carlos Negron fight, I mean, was it tough having to wait, essentially more than a year before you knew you would get that opportunity to face Deontay, since you did win a title eliminator against Molina a couple of years back?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I won the WBC title eliminator against Carlos Molina, and then to be told that, it's going to be sometimes 6 months, 7 months, which turned into, I think, about almost a year. That was very tough, because I'm one of those guys that stays in the gym, whether I'm sparring, every other day or sparring once a week. I'm always in the gym and I'm always working. Sometimes that can take a toll on you. But fortunately, in my favor, it worked out great. I got another fight against Carlos Negron and defended the WBC mandatory, and here I am, a year and a half later, getting ready to fight for the world title. So in a sense, it kept me motivated, it kept me working.
Lastly, I mean, I know you mentioned about Deontay Wilder's, lack of fundamentals from your eyes. What did you think of Deontay's performance against Tyson Fury? Did watching that fight kind of give you a better idea of what you need to do to beat Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, definitely. It gave me some better things to focus in on and hone in on at the same time. I think, just to put my peace of mind, I believe I was there in person. I thought Fury won that fight. I know he got knocked down a couple times, but as far as the boxing, world looks at it and the way you score a boxing match, Tyson Fury outboxed Wilder that night and won that fight. But Fury did some good things. He did some great head movements and some great defensive tactics as well as counterpunching. On the other hand, Wilder did the same thing over and over like he's done in his last 4 or 5 fights for his last 4 or 5 years. It's over 1-2, and hopefully hope and pray that right hand lands eventually. So there was some things that I learned from the fight, as well as some things that I continuously seen over and over, time and time again.
Thanks, Dominic, and best of luck on May 18th.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Our next question is going to come from Bernard Fernandez from TstreeTscience.com. Please go ahead.
Dominic, I think everyone knows that you have a football background, quarterback at the University of Northern Colorado. When Mr. King with King World sounded you out about, his idea of finding athletes, great athletes in other sports, to become heavyweights, maybe go to the Olympics. You obviously are the primary beneficiary and top person for that to happen. What were your thoughts when you got sounded out for that? I mean, was that something out of the blue, and had you ever considered anything like that before?
Yeah. We're going back to Michael King days and All-American Heavyweight. When the idea first came across on a phone call, the gentleman that called me, Joe Onowar, which was the recruiter at the time, I completely told him he was crazy. There was no way in hell that I was going to pick up boxing at 23 years old after I'd done football, basketball, track, baseball, hockey, wrestling, all that as a kid. Never stepped foot into a boxing gym. Then you only used to pick up a sport at 23 years old when I was at the end of at the time I thought I was at the end of my athletic career. It was honestly, at the time I thought it was just a dumb idea. But 3 months into it, after I had my first amateur fight, and 18 months later when I became a 2012 U.S. Olympian, and now 10 months later, 10 years later, now I'm fighting for the WBC world title. I think Michael King was the smartest man on the planet. For me to be the one that came out, as you say, the man on top with 3,100 athletes that came through the door. I feel like the idea of turning Division I athlete into a professional boxer was crazy then, 10 years ago, but now I think it's a great, phenomenal idea.
Hey, for whatever reason, athletes, great athletes in other sports, get this idea in their heads that, hey, I can be a boxer. And I'm not just talking about football players like Mark Gastineau and Too Tall Jones that tried it with, not as much success, obviously, as you've had. Even Jim Brown thought that with a couple of months of training that he could fight Muhammad Ali. Why is it that football players have this idea that, hey, if I'm good at football, I can be just as good at boxing?
I think the idea of the contact, that big man, I'm aggressive, I'm powerful, machismo type of thing. In the football world, you would think that the defensive end, the linebackers, the running backs, the left tackles, the guys that have the most contact on the football gridiron would be the biggest, baddest guys in the boxing room, but it's not true. I mean, here you are, you're talking to a quarterback who usually takes all the damage, and per se, they always want to put a yellow jersey or a pink jersey on during practice and don't touch the quarterback type of a deal. Tip of the turn, and I'm actually the aggressor, and I'm the big knockout puncher now. The guys in the football world believe because they can hit somebody with their shoulder or they can make a big tackle that they can, throw some gloves on it and throw the legs in the ring. And it's a different story, man. Like Tyson said it best, everybody has a game plan, so they get punched in the mouth.
Hey, one last question, that is that had you, when you were a quarterback in Northern Colorado, if you had gotten some feedback from NFL people that you might have been like a draftee in the top 3 rounds, would you have even entertained Mr. King's offer to go into boxing?
No, not at all. Actually, that was the actual scenario. I was actually pursuing the NFL. Things didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. And it turned out that Michael King was still there when the NFL door closed. So that's why I began to venture into the boxing world. To tell you the truth, I actually started boxing with All-American Heavyweights to stay in shape for football, NFL football camps. But soon enough, the doors closed, and boxing was the only thing I had. And I'm grateful for it now. God's put boxing in my life, and it's been a blessing in disguise.
And what is the spelling? The recruiter, Joe, I'm sorry, how do you spell his last name?
It's a difficult one. Joe Onowar, I believe it's O-W-N-E-R.
Okay, thank you very much. Get it.
Yep.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We have a couple more from Dominic.
Our next question is going to come from John Cudney from the Reddit Boxing. Please go ahead.
Oh, hey, Dominic. So in 2016, you fought Anthony Joshua for the heavyweight title. Didn't go your way. Since then, you have 3 big wins by knockout. Just wondering if you can talk a bit about the journey from your first title shot to this title shot now. Specifically, if you faced any doubts along the way, if you had to, get yourself mentally back into the sport, if you ever doubted you would get back to the title picture, and what it means now to get another chance at the heavyweight title.
Yeah, people, sometimes go into depression and things like that. I'm a pretty positive, optimistic type of guy. my way of bouncing back from that title fight against Joshua was to study the film day in and day out. I watched it round after round, minute after minute. I watched it in silence. I watched it with people. I watched it without people. And I guess I can say that the quarterback background of me kind of chalk talking, studying. And I wanted to see everything that I did wrong, and I didn't want to see anything I did right, because I understood that there was things that were done right, but I think there was a lot more things done wrong, and I wanted to capitalize on my learning mistakes. And that's what I did at the time. Me and my trainer, Manny Robles, went back to the drawing boards and kind of restructured my boxing skills. And we grew, and lucky enough that we were fortunate enough to have 3 big KO wins, one against Easy, one against Maria, one against Negron, and here we are back again fighting for the world title. And I'm grateful for it because I learned a lot more from that one loss than I learned from all my wins in my whole boxing career and amateur career. So that one lifetime experience in summer of 2016 against Joshua was a lot bigger for my boxing career than anything could have been.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The last question for Dominic will come from Sean Coase from the Boxing Insider. Please go ahead.
Hi, Dominic. Thanks for taking the call. I just have one quick question. Do you see the incident that happened with Wilder and your family in the hotel lobby as motivation right now, or do you want to get beyond that so you'll be able to fight as clearly as possible when you face Wilder on the 18th?
It's been the biggest motivational tool in this last 10 weeks of camp. It's the one thing that gets me up early in the morning and run. It's the thing that gets me through the 10th and 11th and 12th rounds of sparring. It's the idea of, hey, I want to get a cheat meal, but no, hey, stay focused, repeat this. It's definitely been a huge motivator for camp. I think I'm going to close the tour here pretty soon. The week of the fight, it's more or less going to be the mental idea of I'm going into a heavyweight title fight to perform my best, to perform my best. I'm not going to take any of that emotion or crazy antics into the fight. Because if you do that, then you've already lost the battle.
All right. Thank you very much, and all the best.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, great. That was our last question for you, Dominic. We really appreciate you taking the time to finish up your training today to be on this call. And if you have any closing comments, we will finish up your portion and then transfer over to Deontay Wilder. Dominic, any last words?
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys having me. I'm looking forward to having an explosive firework night on May 18th. The week of fight, the fight week of training next week is going to be great. Got the media workouts, I believe some press conferences as well. Feeling great. Looking forward to traveling and can't wait to get started Saturday night.
Great. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Okay, media, we are going to say goodbye to Dominic Breazeale, and now we will turn our attention over to Mr. Deontay Wilder, and we're going to pause a moment and make sure we have him on the line.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
1 second. Hey, Miss Kelly, how you doing? 1 second.
Thank you. Okay, thanks so much.
Yes, ma'am.